And here we have another miniature that you Monsterites have voted upon to be worked on in the next video. If you're not sure where these polls are located, they're right under the community tab on the World of Monsters main channel. But I'm sure most people just see these as they're scrolling YouTube on their phones. This here is a gargoyle from the old classic Dragon Strike, a wonderful Dungeons & Dragons miniatures board game that came out later than Hero Quest. Among two beautiful playable boards, it featured an old VHS recording with actors and low-budget green screen editing, and it was simply wonderful. Nonetheless, this gargoyle here is a mini that I painted as a child, and really here you can barely say painted, as really it's just the stone that got real paint coverage. The rest is just sort of dry brushing with black paint directly on the plastic without applying a primer of any sort. My goal with the paint job today is to go from a front lighting narrative, a sort of torchlight feel, which I want to implement with more of my minis, but I also decided to add in an additional backlighting of green just to keep things a little bit more interesting on this one. But I'm thinking as more of a constant, I'll just keep the backs of the minis dark for two reasons, as I like that sort of style, again, of the torchlight feel. And as for the second reason, to reduce on the work time, as I am working these paint jobs to quite a much higher degree than you would with playable game miniatures. This is more to a display, even competition level. So these sort of renders take many hours already, and for it to make sense to do this with minis that may get passed on, but also just minis that are from board games themselves and are meant to be playable, this approach makes just a lot more sense. But we'll see, it's hard to stay away from adding those backlights and secondary lights. As far as this mini goes, I never found it too interesting as a sculpt, as it's just not very dynamic. It's very sort of simple and is just what it is, but as often it is with such sculpts, it makes it that much more fun or satisfying of an outcome once you have them painted, pulling out all those details and details that aren't even within the sculpt but creating them yourself. And with this gargoyle, I really felt that, and what the end product became was, for those reasons, quite satisfying and much to my liking. And now that the gargoyle is all painted up, the monstrous reveal. And after that, a comparison between another gargoyle I had painted to the same level as this one was originally, side by side with this finished 2024 rendition. Let me know your thoughts on the outcome on today's monster paint-up, what you would have liked to have seen. And if you did enjoy this, I did recently do an upgrade paint job on a Gene Stealer. I keep wanting to call them Xenomorphs. Gene Stealer that I painted many a year ago as well.